look at this, okay? So this was made by our wonderful Dunebug. It is all of the ASL maps with some great tiers here, okay? Look at this. Best maps ever made, above average, decent map, meh. Who thought this was a good idea? Whoever made this should be ashamed. Okay, so let's just jump in and see. I'm sure we can find something really terrible to start with, right? Okay. Neo Arkanoid is very clearly... Who thought this was a good idea? You know Neo Arkanoid? Right? It's the map with all the eggs and everything. Neo Arkanoid. Right? This map? Yeah. Right? You have to kill everything and there's like 2 bases inside your base. Okay, so Neo Arkanoid, whoever thought this was a good idea? Okay, up next, we got... What's another one that's terrible? Plasma. Whoever thought... Whoever made this should be ashamed. You guys remember Plasma? Oh my god, it was even on the ladder. Look at this map, right? So it's got all the eggs around the sides. Like all these eggs that you have to chop through. And it's a 3-player map, and it's completely like this main... Look at this. These ones have corners... And then this one has, like, the most surface area you've ever seen in your entire life. If you spawn at this one, you can't stop attacks. This is one of the dumbest maps ever. The funny thing is it actually gave... No, actually, it didn't give good games in ASL. Never mind. I feel like it gave me better games on ladder than it gave in ASL, so that one's shit. Okay? Let's grab a really good map real quick here. Okay? Vermeer. This is one of the best maps literally ever made. Okay, you see me play on Vermeer like every day. The game I just played on Vermeer. This was literally made by hiring 3 pro gamers, 1 of each race, and sitting them down with a professional map maker to try to design a map that was really good. And honestly, it's probably the best map we've ever had. Apparently that works if you get 1 pro from each race and they actually talk about like what makes the map good and what makes the map bad. Because Vermeer is, like, the standard go-to right now. So we'll put that right up there, okay? Let's see here. Oh, God. Largo. Largo is above average. Okay, we can't say it's one of the best maps ever made. Largo is just, like, a solid macro map overall. You guys have seen it plenty of times. Like, let me refresh you on it. Largo... What? Largo, the Russian player. Right? So that's Largo. It's pretty standard, pretty straightforward. It's a good map. I would say it's above average because there's nothing like really terrible about it. Okay, Overwatch. I think Overwatch is one of the best maps ever made. I guess I got to bring this up too. You guys probably don't remember these maps as well as I do name-wise, but when you see it, you'll remember, right? So Overwatch, I think, is one of the best maps ever made. Now, as a disclaimer, this is actually a really hard map for Terran. It's considered like very Protoss favored, for instance. But again, I'm not going to put that into super consideration here. I think the actual layout of the map is like super awesome. It's like it has given a lot of amazing games. There's a lot of interesting paths and very different ways that you can expand around the map. So I honestly think this is one of the best maps that we have ever had, Overwatch. And the funny thing is, if this was in the ladder right now, I would veto it because I find it very difficult for Terran, but I still think it's one of the best maps. Like, you can have a map that's very hard for stuff and still veto it, right? Because it's bad for your race, maybe a little bit, but it's still awesome. Okay, Neo Sylphid. This is the best 3-player map ever made, okay? Like, you guys know this map. You've seen this map so many times. It's on the ladder right now. It's been played the most times, Dunebug said, of any map. Look at this. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 14. Those are the seasons it was in. Neo Sylphid is just a fantastic 3-player map. I personally find it kind of hard to play on, but it's just a very, very good map. Okay. Circuit Breakers. This is a hard one to rank, I think. Because Circuit Breakers, at first... Like, early on in ASL, it was one of our better maps. It gave really great macro games. And nowadays, it's not a good map anymore. If you try to play Circuit Breakers now, it doesn't give you good games, whereas it used to give you good games. So, gosh, I think we have to put it above average, though, right? For its time, it was very, very good. Okay. Eclipse. We're going to put it... it's hard. Because my own hatred of Eclipse. My own hatred of Eclipse. You're probably right. You're probably right. It probably needs to be above average. Eclipse is a very good, very well-made two-player map. It's become pure abuse in TVP. It's like all that happens on the ladder is getting cheesed. But realistically, most of the seasons it gave us very good, high-quality games on. The layout makes it really interesting for army movement. I think we got to give it above average, but probably not one of the best ever. Okay, Third World. This is one of the maps that was made to snipe Flash. Okay, so do we put it that you should be ashamed? Or who thought it was a good idea? Like, I feel like both of them, it did give some interesting games. But, like, this map literally was made so Flash wouldn't win ASL. I'm not even joking. It's one of the worst maps ever made for Terran. It's definitely... Who thought this was a good idea? I'm going to put it in. Okay, which means we have to go to Sparkle. Okay, Sparkle, we have to put it in the ashamed category. Okay, Sparkle, I think actually, here's the thing about Sparkle. Okay, wait, I should show Third World real quick so you guys remember it. Sorry. So Third World, this is the map that was Third World, right? So your main and this main are on the same piece of map, and you need to fly to get over to this part of the map. So like Terran would literally have to go drop ships to go into this part. And obviously dropships don't measure up with Mutalisks or shuttles. So, yeah, one of the worst maps ever made. And then we were just talking about Sparkle, right? So Sparkle actually it holds the record for being the least balanced map ever played in ASL. Okay, this was an attempt to make an island map that Zerg could play on. Because historically, Zerg can't play on island maps. It just gets destroyed. So what they did is they added these additional gases that Zerg can get onto Sparkle. So what actually happened here, Terran had a 0% win rate on Sparkle against Zerg during that tournament. It literally is the most imbalanced map ever put into ASL. It was literally 0. Not even Flash can win games on this map. Not even Flash. It's insane. TVP, if I recall correctly, I think maybe like Flash won a TVP on it, but it was almost 0% on that as well. So anyways, I mean, it was an island map. It is certainly one of the worst maps, one of the most imbalanced maps ever made. Dude, when they made this map, it was so exciting that it got into ASL. And I remember I sat there and I watched so many pro streams as they practiced it, and I like literally never saw Terran win. It was just so hard. It was so hard. That was a bad map. Okay. Polypoid. This is one of the best maps ever made. Okay. These literally best maps ever made is perfect for this tier. It really makes it very straightforward. Polypoid, I think, is the second best 4-player map that we've ever had. It really plays well. It's got a really diverse set of games on it. It is getting a bit old now. Vermeer is definitely more fun to play on, and I think, in fact, Vermeer is a little bit more balanced as well. Polypoid has some stuff about it that's not quite as good, but Polypoid's a great map, so we'll put that up there. Okay, Ringing Bloom. This is a shameful map. Okay, Ringing Bloom, like... it's pretty bad. I'm not sure where to put it. It's like one of the bottom 2 tiers. So Ringing Bloom, Ringing Bloom. Okay, so this is the map where it has the 2 things here, like overmines or whatever, that you can build Sunkens on for Zerg. And it has the in-base natural, right? Like this map is incredibly difficult for people to play on because, for instance, if you try to go command center first, there's like rushes that just kill it immediately. I don't know. It's a kind of wild map. Yeah, I think who thought this was a good idea is the right place for that. Ringing Bloom was not a very good map. Okay, Fighting Spirit. Whoever made this should be ashamed. That's pretty self-explanatory. Fighting Spirit needs to go. This needs to never fucking be played again. It's so old at this point that there's huge positional disadvantages. Yeah, yeah, about the Ringing Bloom. Ringing Bloom is so bad that I beat a pro gamer there with the cheese. Like, that's how bad that map is. It's so stupid. It just goes one way or the other. But yeah, Fighting Spirit, we hate that map. So that map just... The fact that this is still around is so gross. It looks like it hasn't been in ASL since Season 1, and hopefully it stays that way. Okay, Allegro. Allegro's improved Largo, right? Allegro's just like they try to fix Largo up a little bit. Definitely, I think Allegro's better than Largo. So maybe we should move Largo down one, because Allegro is clearly a step up from Largo. But I wouldn't put it as one of the best maps ever made, right? So we'll leave Allegro there and put Largo onto decent map. Allegro for... Yeah, let me just pull that up. Allegro. So Allegro, basically they took Largo and they made the middle high ground a little bit smaller. It's a more interesting layout now. There's more ways to move your army around instead of just having kind of a big wide open middle. There's like ways that you can go around or go through the high ground. So it was an improvement for sure. Okay. Let's see here. Blue Storm. Okay, so Blue Storm was only played in a qualifier. Okay, it never actually made it into a proper ASL, I believe. I thought it was in Season 3, but Toonbug said otherwise. Anyways, Blue Storm is one of the best maps ever made. Right now, it's not balanced anymore. It would need to be remade. But yeah, this is Blue Storm. It's a very old map at this point, from like 2007, maybe? But it was one of the most played maps for years and years and years. It has issues now. It gets split a bit too easily. Right? So it becomes only like, you can only do things like, for instance, if you're playing TVP and Terran splits here, you can only suicide recall or go carriers. That's it. There's literally nothing else you can't attack. Like, Terran will just dominate the center. So yeah, it's not as good a map anymore, but honestly, it's one of the best maps that have ever been made. This had one of the longest runs as being a competitive map. Well, when Blue Storm was first made, it was actually very hard for Terran, but the way Terran is played now, it would literally just be really aggressive backstabby only, right? So that's Blue Storm. Yeah, if you played it right now, basically late game Terran would not lose, except so you'd only see like cheesy backstab stuff, right? So yeah, it's weird. Okay, moving on. Whiteout. Whiteout. Let me show you guys this map. Whiteout. Okay, so Whiteout is the map with 1,000,000 trees on it. Okay, if you don't remember this, all these trees, these are vision blockers in these 3 areas. And the vision blockers, like literally you walk your army through and you can't see anything. Okay, also, it's got like cliffs above the naturals in these areas. Right, it's a 3-player map. And then look at the mains. This main is kind of in the top right corner. This one's in the middle of fucking nowhere in the bottom. And this one is kind of in the middle of nowhere as well. Like, the map is so bad. It's so crazy. But it gave us, like, a few good games. One that I really remember for this map was Snow against Sulky, where he went, like, if I recall correctly, 1 base speed Reaver and killed Sulky on this map. That's how weird this map is. So yeah, I think Whiteout is a who thought this is a good idea. All right. Some of these I'm actually gonna have to type into. Oh, this is Fighting Spirit again. Yeah, Fighting Spirit. You stay down there forever. Okay. Inner Coven. Oh God. Inner Coven. Guys, this map's insane. This is one of the craziest maps that we've ever had. We actually had some very interesting games here. So it's a 3-player map. And then it's got massive D-webs, disruption webs from Corsairs that stay on the map. If you're underneath one of these, you can't attack. Okay? The D-webs are longer than any attack range of any ground unit. And there's eggs at the end of them. So you can't clear it in normal ways. Like, it's extremely hard to clear those and actually make paths to walk around the map. In the center here, there's just high health buildings. And in the very center, there's a huge base. Like, the map is absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. But we did see very cool games here. Like, remember Storm Egg when he stormed the eggs to do an attack? Remember, I believe Stork won a game utilizing a scout on this map. He literally went for a quick scout because he needed an air unit that could shoot down, and he, like, if I recall correctly, he won the game because of it. So Inner Coven actually gave us good games. Damn. But it's a bad map in a lot of ways. Like, it's a crazy map, but it gave good games and was very interesting in a lot of ways. Damn.
What? The best map connoisseur donated.
We have to put it above average.
33 cents. Yes. This map favors Terran, so it is one of the best map ever made. Now, this map though, does not favor Terran. This map is so bad, ashamed tier. Now, another map that favors Terran, S tier.
This guy.
Yes, I am very good at rating maps. The best TBH.
Well, I certainly am the best at that. But I do have to say that you're a dummy because, like, Terran maps don't exist. They don't exist. And if you think they exist, then you're fucking dumb. You're fucking... Check your Protoss privilege, bro. Alright. Now. Optimizer. Optimizer, it was a bad map. Optimizer was, like, literally only Crazy Zerg being played and Carriers being played. Just very flat, and then you have those weird bases you try to get to. Optimizer was pretty bad. That was an annoying map to do that season. Okay, I'm gonna have to type a couple of these in. Crossing Field, that's from like season 2 or something. Or season 3. Let me type that in. Crossing Field. Yeah, there it is. Oh, yes. I remember this map now. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, there was a lot of weird carrier builds and stuff here, right? So you had your main base as a 2-player map, and then you had a back natural down a ramp to take. Yeah, this map didn't really give us very good games. I'm trying to remember, and I do remember some games. Actually, there was a really good Larva game on this map. I remember Larva playing a crazy game on this map once. Not a whole lot more is coming up. Okay, so where is that crossing field? We're going to put that in meh. We're going to put that in meh. All right, Gladiator. Gladiator, everyone should remember. This map has been played so many times in so many tournaments. It was on the ladder a lot. Right, it's the Pizza Slice map. It's a bunch of those Star Wars evil guy ships. Right, all pointing towards the center. So, Gladiator had some issues. We had good games on Gladiator, but we also had PvP on Gladiator. This is literally the worst PvP map ever made. That just made the rock, paper, scissors. That happened every time, and I would always say it, and Tish would be like, it's not true, and then it would exactly be what I said. Gladiator, we're going to go meh on that, because PvP, I think, really ruined that map. And that actually makes me think of Transistor. Okay, I'll type Transistor in here, because you might not remember this one. But this map, this was a map that was considered extremely hard for Terran. And then Flash overcame this map in that season where they tried to get rid of him, which I thought was kind of interesting. And there was a couple different versions. There was Transistor, then Neo Transistor later on. But this was the best PvP map ever, in my opinion. This map I can watch PvP on all day long. And PvP is my least favorite matchup personally. Watching a couple of apes fight each other is not normally what I like. But on this map, because of the double ramps, you couldn't really attack early, so it would automatically be 2 bases. So there was like a lot of roaming and huge armies here. I think Transistor was actually a very good ASL map. I think it made a lot of the matches that weren't as interesting much more interesting. So I'm gonna give that one an above average. I think it gave us a lot of good games. All right, Multiverse. Let's do that one next. All right, Multiverse. Oh, this map. Oh my God, my brain just opened back up. Okay, so this map was crazy, right? You had these corner expansions. So it's a 4-player map, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you had these corner bases that you could walk through a gate or use drops to get to. And then you had the center, which had those assimilator gates that you could kill to close. But then you had temples you could kill to open, right? So there was a lot going on this map, but it was a bit too wide open. It was a bit too ridiculous to try to defend main bases or, like, defend these corner bases. And I don't recall good games here. I remember seeing some Terran versus Terrans here, and that's about it. So we're going to go ahead and take Multiverse, and that's going to go down to meh. I like that they tried to make something like that, but it didn't really work. Okay, New Bloody Ridge. I'll never forget New Bloody Ridge. This is actually a pretty decent two-player map, right? So you got the two bases. It's all low ground, which can make it a little bit tricky for cheeses and everything. This weird center expansion never came into play. But with the double ramps and then also the ways down the sides, I think it was reasonable. I think it was reasonable. It's somewhere in decent map or meh. I think we'll put it in decent map. All right. Ground Zero. Oh, yes, I remember that one. All right, so the 4-player map. Yeah, this one has such a weird layout, right? So it's 4-player. It looks kind of standard. You have your natural, then you have your third up here. You have some blockers here so that you could actually, as a Terran player, like kind of hold this area. And then you just had these center bases, and that was it, right? So this one was weird. One thing I did not like about this actual terrain here, this like lava terrain you see, this isn't used in maps anymore. You can't really see burrowed units there. Like, even if you scan or whatever, or use an observer, you can't really see burrowed units on that the lava. It's kind of weird. That's a meh map. Hitchhiker. Oh my god, Hitchhiker. This is like such a classic map, a very, very old one, right? So you have the two main bases and the long path in between, and then these areas become islands, basically. That actually has given so many good games over the years. We have to put that in above average. I think it's pretty clear. All right, then we got Butter. Butter, I think, gave us some very good games. That's an above average. Not one of the best maps ever made, but, you know, it's on the ladder right now and everything. Butter is solid. All right, Match Point. Match Point. So, yeah, this one... This one's funny because it was like cheese every single game and every single matchup. The natural is so wide open, right? The natural is so gigantic and wide open that, like, it's just lings running in, bio busting, vultures running by, whatever, right? A massive Dragoon all in, and then it was like 2-base carrier and just Guardian rushes. I'm going to give Match Point the meh. That sounds about right for that. Okay. Some of these, okay, Autobahn. I gotta type that one. I remember watching Last play on that map, Autobahn. Yeah, this was actually from the season where Effort beat Flash. That's right. That's right. Okay, so Autobahn was actually kind of interesting. I liked Autobahn. I would put that above average. Okay.
Guy in the Gourd donated $3.33.
What's up?
Listening to this is like listening to your grandmother go through an old photo album.
It is. Actually, that's basically exactly what it is. I'm getting a lot of good memories. Like, it's opening my brain to, right? Like, Autobahn, I didn't remember that. Then I'm like, oh, yeah, that's the one where Effort beat Flash. Yeah, like, I remember Autobahn now. Yeah, no, that's definitely the case, though. Okay, Gold Rush. I barely remember this map at all. I barely remember this at all. What? I, like, vaguely recall this, but I don't remember a single game on it. Skull Desert. Yeah, it is just Gold Rush. That's... Anyways, I really don't even remember this, so I think I have to put it in meh. I can't believe I can't remember games on that. That's so weird. Like, every single map here so far I remember games on, and I can't recall anything there. Huh. Okay, Blockchain. This is a crazy one, right? This is what Nemesis is based off of. right? And this is based off of, basically, there was a map called Outsider that had ideas, like bases around the side that you can't get too easy. And then a lot of maps have been made like that. So Blockchain in particular did give us some okay games, but it was mostly the same stuff over and over. Nemesis is a very improved version of this. This is a good idea overall, but I think Blockchain didn't do a particularly good job. So we'll put Blockchain in meh. And then let's grab Nemesis, which is the newer version of it that's on the ladder right now. And this is a better version. It's got way more play to it. The flow of the map works better. So we're going to go ahead and put it here. Oh yeah, now I'm having some memories of bad games I played on Blockchain. Oh my god. Okay. Tripod. That sounds so familiar. Oh, this is the map where you have to rotate around it. That's right. This was from the season, one of the many seasons that Flash won. I remember Flash eliminating Light on this map when he shouldn't have. And wait, no, Flash didn't win that season, did he? I remember him playing Snow here. Yeah, Tripod was crazy. Tripod actually was really interesting because being a 3-player map, like for instance, if you're Zerg and you're fast expanding, you might be expanding away from them or you might be expanding towards them, right? So if Terran's up here, let's say, or Protoss is up here and Zerg is over here, like you could expand down either ramp. And if you expand down here, that's one type of defense, right? Where you're going to have to hold a ramp. And if you expand up here, that's another type of defense where you might have sunkens. So it actually made a lot of interesting decisions because of that. And the counterattack path was very, very long. Wow. That's bringing back a lot of memories. We're going to put it as decent map. All right, Escalade. Okay, this one was on the ladder for a little bit. Oops. Escalade. So, Escalade, yeah, I remember a bunch of TVPs on this map, actually. That's right, that's right. So it had this giant open ground that was unbuildable that was kind of above 2 bases, right? So this would be like a common defense point or a push point. For instance, I remember Light doing a lot of 4-fact pushes against Nexus first here with his gasless expansion. That didn't work for long. It did for a little bit for him, though. This is a meh map. That gives me meh feels. Horizon Lunar Colony. Oh my god, that one gives me a headache to even think of. Let me just show you guys real quick. You probably don't remember it very well.
Cyber Psycho cheered. X
What's up, Cyber Psycho?
Artosis. May I call you Artie?
Yes, you may.
Great, thanks.
What's up?
So, I have not had time to check out your fantastic YouTube channel much this week.
Oh no.
Artosis casts. I don't have a lot of time.
Oh, that's too bad.
But would like to enjoy one tonight. Might you recommend me a good new one based on my time constraints? Don't forget to check out Artosis casts on YouTube, you bonky quee cracker jive turkeys. Apparently he works very hard on it.
Yes, I do. Thank you very much, Cyber Psycho. I have exactly the game for you. It went up the day before today. Yesterday is what we call that, generally. But it's one of the best games I've ever commentated. I actually tweeted about it. If you want a direct link to it, just go check my Twitter. It's one of my last tweets, but it's literally one of the best games I've ever commentated. It is so fun. You will enjoy it, I promise. Thank you. Cheers, Cyber Psycho. All right, so Horizon Lunar Colony, this was like all timing attacks and stuff. I don't think that this gave particularly good games. It was all just very sharp stuff. That's a meh. That's a meh. Polaris Rhapsody. This was a meh as well. Like, I liked the idea of Polaris Rhapsody. I liked the idea of the way that it was laid out, but it really didn't give us good games. Here, I'll show. Right. So this 2-player map. What you'll probably remember, if you remember this map at all, right? You have the 2 bases that are across. But it, like the very long main bases. I remember a lot of DTs on this map. Like, I remember a lot of Zealots busting the bottom left corner or the bottom right or top right corner. Not that good, I think. Polaris Rhapsody. Yeah, that's a meh map for sure. Ultimate Stream. Who thought this was a good idea? Dude, Ultimate Stream was so bad. Ultimate Stream. So, this map, okay, So you have the 4 bases, and then you have the natural that's up a ramp. So there couldn't be any early attacks. Like, like Hydras couldn't bust Protoss here. And Terran could never bust Zerg here. So, like, every game was crazy Zerg. Every game was Nexus first carriers and things like that. Now, the one thing it did give was very interesting Protoss versus Zerg games. We got a lot of very good Protoss versus Zerg games on this map. So I think I have to rate it a little bit higher than I would otherwise. There was no good Terran games on the map at all, but PvZ was very good there. So I'll give it a meh instead of who thought this was a good idea. Where did it go? Ultimate stream. There we go. We'll put it up to meh. Alright, so Season 1 Taybake Mountains. So is that... Oh, Taybake Mountains. Okay, hold on. Taybake Mountains. This map I'm actually not remembering. I was thinking of another map. Shin Peaks of Baekdu. Taebake is another popular mountain range in Korea. Okay, this map I don't have, like, I have half of a memory of a game. Yeah, I have almost 0 memories of this map, which means it was not that good. Put that in meh. Shakura's Temple. I think Shakura's Temple is pretty much a meh. Shakura's Temple. You guys probably remember this map. It was on the ladder for like at least a year. Just a 4-player map. You know, lots of different ramps to go up and down. Not like a super great map, not super balanced or anything. Like, there were so many containment strategies that were utilized because you were on low ground fighting up. I think it was like better on ladder than it was in ASL. And I didn't particularly like it on ladder either. Hidden Track, that's a meh map. Hidden Track. I feel like we had some good PvPs here. Occasionally, I remember a couple good PvPs, but I don't think anything about the map gives you that in particular. Yeah, it's pretty straightforward. Nothing very special about that map. Ascension. Oh god, Ascension. Who thought this was a good idea? Ascension is one of the worst maps ever made. This map. Okay, let me tell you a couple things that you need to know about this map. First off, you can't stop Nexus first on it. You can't stop it. The rush distance is too far from one main to the other. Second off, you got all this high stuff around your main base, so you can't see drops incoming. Third off, you can't stop carriers here. Okay? This is a bad map. I'm disappointed in the people who made Ascension. Alright, Lemon. Lemon is such a crazy map. This was in like 2 seasons ago, if you guys recall, like 1 million mineral patches in the main bases, the double gas and everything. But then they had the crystals, so you couldn't take another main. It's actually very resource light. You have a lot in your main, but very little elsewhere. Lemon was like, what a wild map. It did not give particularly good games either. We had like 1 or 2 good games, I think, and that was about it. Alright, Good Night. That was more recent. I don't think Good Night was very good. It was meh. Revolver was... Oh, wait. Good Night, that was the map that was impossible, TVC. I mixed that up with Revolver, which is also meh. Revolver just not... You know, it's... The eggs and stuff. I don't know. These kind of like 1 twist or 2 twist 4-player maps I'm not really into. If you're going to twist it, really twist it. All right, Monopoly. No. Monopoly... Here's the problem with Monopoly. Let me show you Monopoly. This is an idea that just keeps getting remade. It's like Tripod had the same idea, where you have a 3-player map that you have to go around in a rotation because there's something big in the middle. Okay, so counterattacking here takes so long, right? Like, let's say I'm Terran here, and Protoss is here, and I move my armies sitting here, which would be a normal place. Let's say I attack, and I start going over here. I'm very close to him, right? If he wants to counterattack me, he has to go like this, all the way around like that. And by the time you can do that, look, I like not being counterattacked, but when it's that far, that's pretty crazy. I don't, yeah. Monopoly, who thought this was a good idea is about is about accurate. Okay, benzene. Oh god, as soon as I see benzene. This was on ladder for a long time. This is the map that Tasteless is still salty about Soma beating Bisu on. This map is such a pain in the ass. It's like everything is so long, you can't defend shuttles, you can't defend mutas and things like that. Just a huge, huge pain in the butt. I have so many bad memories of hour-long TVTs here as well. Oh my god, benzene. Who thought this was a good idea? Overwatch. ASL map. Oh yeah. They made an Overwatch logo. You should be ashamed of yourself. Alright, Eye of the Storm. Oh, yeah! Oh my god. Yeah, it sounded so familiar, but now I remember it. Okay. The problem with this map, okay? It's a pretty far rush distance to all the different bases, especially cross. But then you have this giant ramp. And pushing up a ramp is basically impossible, right? Like, you have some lurkers up here, Protoss will never get up. You have a Terran army sitting up here, Protoss will never get up. Zerg will get up because they just cast one Dark Swarm and just walk right up, but that's not what we're talking about. That's in every map, in every situation. But likewise, you have a bunch of goons and some Storm here, Terran never gets up, right? So it's like it's so like turtley in that way. I don't think it was that good. That's like kind of a meh thing. What is this one? Demian? I don't remember this one. What? So it's a 3-player map. I can honestly say I don't remember any games here. It looks like an adjusted 3-player, slightly more wide open version of Destination. With a little bit, not exactly, I guess. Not exactly. I guess the Badlands and this base made me think that, but... Nah, I mean, if I'm not remembering anything from this map... What season was that? It was Season 2. It's gotta be meh if I don't remember anything. Okay, Outsider. Oh my god. That is a blast from the past. Yes. Oh, of course. So I actually mentioned this map earlier when we were talking about blockchain. This is the original map that did bases on the outside. Everyone remembers Outsider. Outsider spawned so many other maps. It, in particular, didn't give very good games, but the idea is still used to today. Gosh, where do we put that? I guess we'll put it up a decent map because it's actually a very important map from time. Last map, Odyssey. This is a brand new one. You see me play it occasionally on stream, like in a match or whatever. It's got some interesting things about it, like the back natural, the double gas, because it is... This is like an older screenshot, but it has a double gas in the main now, so you can't really get offensive gas. It's not that strong a strategy. It kind of looks like Shin Peaks of Baekdu a little bit. I think it's like... It's decent. It's a decent map. Maybe it's even above average for pro play. No, actually, the more I think about the games I've casted there, they're generally not as good. Actually, the TVT games were good, but we'll put it as a decent map. And there you have it. This is officially how good the ASL maps are. I think I pretty much nailed it. These are 5 of the best maps ever made. These are very good maps, either for the quality of games or how they were interesting. Yeah, these are like kind of non-memorable maps. The mem maps, decent is like just slightly below the above average, right? Like it's kind of similar. It's like, okay, these are okay. And then these ones down here are like, oh my god. Sparkle and 2 fighting spirits. Let's make a sparkle sandwich. Look at that. Fighting spirit all around sparkle. Okay, so that's it. That's the tier list of ASL maps. Ugh. That is a lot of maps.